Palmer Lake voters have approved a new law to require every annexation to go to the vote of the people. The results are unofficial, but currently show 67% of voters supporting that change. We asked leaders in Colorado Springs if this could happen here. News 5's Allison Zimmerman reports.
Addition number 1, annexation eligibility for annexation of
that annex to the city of Colorado Springs.
Most people don't spend their free time watching all this government business, but if you do find yourself watching a Colorado Springs City Council meeting, you'll notice a good chunk of what they're looking at is often land use and annexations.
I mean, land use matters is the bulk of what we do.
And just up the road in Palmer Lake, voters have given approval for all future annexations to be in the hands of voters, not just its town's board of trustees. It got us thinking, could this happen in Colorado Springs? Would it work? I asked 3 city council members their thoughts on if this were to come up in a future election.
I would say actually that's not ideal.
And I would probably support it.
I would not, for a variety of reasons.
We'll walk you through their reasons in just a minute, but let's explain annexations and how this all works. These are the current city limits of Colorado Springs. You'll see there's some holes within city limits known as enclaves. Those are what city council typically looks at moving into the city. But sometimes landowners want to see places outside of this boundary brought into the city or annexed in.
The other thing I think a lot of people don't appreciate or realize is they believe, a lot of people believe that the city is going out and bringing land into the city. That is not how it works. This is private land that people decide they want to become a part of the city.
It can be a lengthy process too.
There has to be a petition to annex, and that petition comes from the landowner or owners. The municipality can accept or reject that petition. If they accept the petition, then it starts a whole clock of things going.
There are a lot of presentations that happen for city council, from utilities, police and fire, even economic reports when an annexation comes before them. And voters in Colorado Springs kind of already got a taste of this recently, voting on an annexation. Remember this plot of land? This area is about 2,000 acres known as Karman Line. Back in January, Colorado Springs City Council approved putting this land into city limits. But then a group gathered signatures to trigger a special election to put the annexation decision in voters' hands, and 82% of them rejected it. Council members Nancy Henjum and Dave Donelson both voted against Karman Line before it went to voters. But they had different thoughts on whether voters should decide on annexations in the Springs.
That's the reason we have representative elected government, and decisions around annexations are in fact really complex, and there's lots of factors from economic development to infrastructure.
Some people might hear that though, and they're saying, oh, are you saying the public's not informed enough?
Well, it's maybe not that the public is informed. I would actually turn it around the other way. I would say if you look at the Karman Line vote, perhaps the elected officials weren't informed enough about what their electorate was believing.
Councilman Donelson thinks this might be something worth considering in the Springs.
It may be that in Colorado Springs we need to allow smaller annexations just to be approved by City Council, say below 50 acres. I don't know what that amount is. We'd have to work with Planning Department and other stakeholders to figure that out. But the big ones, the Karman Lines, the Amaras, those are the 2 last ones that involve thousands of acres. It may make sense, to always send that to a vote of the people.
I think the implications for the city would be extreme, 1, from a pure cost standpoint, but 2, procedurally.
Councilman Brian Risley voted to support the Karman Line annexation. He sees what's happening in Palmer Lake as something that may have more discussion even after this vote.
We're so early in the process, even in Palmer Lake, that there will be a long process to determine whether it's 1, valid, 2, legal, and 3, procedurally how it dovetails with the state statutes regarding annexations.
Like Henjum, he agrees this is part of the job of City Council to approve these types of decisions. After Karman Line failed at the ballot, Risley said there were nuances he did not feel voters understood.
And I stand by that statement. I was not calling our voters uneducated. I was not saying that people don't know what they're voting on. I don't know that everyone who gets a ballot in the mail spends tens or hundreds of hours researching a topic, going to hearings, listening to all sides of an argument, and then ultimately making a decision.
The Karman Line special election came with a cost of $500,000. That's a cost that could add up.
So I think elections happen frequently enough. We could just put those big annexations on at the same time. And so there wouldn't be an additional cost.
Now, a lot of this is hypothetical. We haven't confirmed any effort of people trying to get a similar question on the ballot in Colorado Springs. And we also have questions on what this is going to look like in Palmer Lake. We're working to get you those answers. We'll let you know when we do. In Colorado Springs, Allison Zimmerman, News 5.